What's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeti Whisperer was first one up tonight. Jackson, Fisherman 83. Sup, Christopher Kelly. G4 Outdoors. Dad Bod, how's it going, man? Now that fishing season has started. What's up, Eric? I'm going to spread these out a little bit, so probably stick with this Wednesday night time frame for a while. We'll keep doing the Saturday one and the Wednesday one instead of Thursday. I got several other competing channels on Thursday nights too, so this might help. And give a few other guys more opportunities to get on that can't get on Saturday or Thursday nights. Chops Bearded's on. What up, man? How's everybody been doing? Bryson. College of Bass from Plano. I can watch later. Right on. There's Jan. Jan's been catching some fish. Barker Bass and Mr. Bass still at Lake 10 killer. Yeah. Tough bite today, huh? Oh, but you started catching them. Good. What have you been catching them on? So Barker told us last live stream, I think, that he was at 10 killer, heading to 10 killer. I think he said he was going to camp out there and fish. Dalen, how you doing, buddy? Just got sub from 3 other channels. Nice. Hey, Nick. How's it going, man? Oh, great. Good to hear it, David. David, the tandem kayaker. So Nick, you guys may remember Nick. He showed us a couple of pictures the other night. Nick's going to start his own YouTube channel, he told me. So keep your eyes peeled. That should be cool. Yeah, we've got warm enough water to fish now for sure, but we've had some cruddy weather lately. Today it was kind of chilly today, but I'm glad fishing is in full force now, which is sweet. The quest for 1,000 bass is still going on. I know some of you guys have been giving me updates. Did you get any fishing done today? Kick your bass. How's it going, man? N5 KDA, the man who catches all kinds of fish. He sent us all kinds of pictures the other night. Some of you guys missed that, like Clint. Old N5 KDA is such a good fisherman. He even takes pictures of his wife's fish. Was pretty sweet. Doing good, man. Glad you're on. Going to Sam Rayburn tomorrow. Well, the way they're catching them down there, man, I probably would too. There's some big donkeys coming out of Sam Rayburn. Yeah, right on, Jan. The show and tell. That was kind of fun. Guys showing me their photos. I think you guys like doing that, sending in your pictures, getting them on the live stream. John Gill's here. How's it going, John? Whoops. Just hit the microphone. That probably didn't sound good. I don't have much of anything planned tonight. I just figured we'd talk. I will show you a couple of minor things, but let's talk some fishing maybe and see where it leads. Did you guys see the boat wreck I posted on my Instagram? Old Aaron Britt's MLF angler. That was quite the deal. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I just posted it on my Facebook page. Yeah, I guess that's what I did. I said Instagram, but I posted it on Mr. Bass Facebook. I wonder if I can show you guys that. Let me see. Let's see here. See my posts. I got to go to my posts. Here we go. All right. If I maximize this thing, I'm going to pause it. Start it over. For any of you guys who didn't see this, I think I can share my screen here and you can watch this. Let's see. See if I can do this. You're right, G4. He's lucky he didn't kill himself, to tell you the truth. Those things can really be something. All right, you guys should be able to see this video now. Can you guys see it? If you can, then I'll click play here. Okay, watch this. It's not even a minute long. It's a wake. He's cutting this corner really sharp. It's a wake. It's another one. Wham. That is all she wrote. Now, one crazy thing about this, if you notice, his outboard motor's still running. And where's his kill switch? I don't know for sure. It's hard to know for sure if you're not really there. But his motor should be dead. And it was still running. Pretty crazy. Yeah, he got really lucky on that deal. Pretty wild. That was on takeoff first thing in the morning. And man, if you've ever been in any of these tournaments, like I told you guys, I've marshaled with some of these guys, and I've been on the Opens and the Toyota Series and the Rayovacs and the Costas. Takeoff in the morning is insane, man. These guys only care about one thing, and it's beating the next guy. And I have been in some close calls at very high speeds. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, you're right, Jackson. He could have easily flipped. It's amazing that he didn't. And they totaled the boat and the motor, completely totaled it. Apparently, the insurance company did. So there was a lot of damage. Of course, you didn't get to see the damage, but got to be careful on the water. It's fun. It's very fun, but you gotta prepare. And even sometimes it's totally out of your control. But yeah, I was on a tournament at Lake Champlain with a guy that was literally out of his mind. I almost got thrown out of the boat multiple times. It was just insane. That dude had one speed, full throttle. And that was it. Full throttle. The funny thing about it is it almost never matters. I'm not saying it doesn't always. Sometimes that little bit of speed will get you onto a spot that another guy was headed to, but so many times it's not worth dying over. That's for sure. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I don't see Braden on here. He may have told me that he wasn't going to get on till Saturday. He's been wanting me to show him he's been wanting me to show you guys his sprint car, but I'm going to wait till he's on so he can give us the details. I always said if I had a boat and fished a tournament, it will be last out. Patience always proves its worth. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I've fished tournaments where I am the boater driving the boat, and they usually give you a number. So you got to go out on the number that you're given. I mean, you could skip and go to the back if you wanted, but yeah. This is a good question. What are the benefits of a hot foot? I've never understood them. Well, if you watch Randy Blockett, he doesn't use a hot foot. Says he'll never use a hot foot. I've had boats with hot foot and without, and I love the hot foot. If you don't know what a hot foot is, it's like a gas pedal on the floor of your boat. But on the top of your foot, if this was my foot, on the top of your foot is a bar on the top as well. So when you lift up, you kind of pull the pedal up as well. It also gives you something to kind of hold you in place while you're bouncing all over. But one of the reasons I think a hot foot is actually safer is you can react much quicker if you need to stop. Now, a guy could say, well, I can lift my hand. I can lift my hand on the throttle and put it in neutral just as fast as you can let off your foot. The problem is your hands are usually both of them are on the wheel. So you've got to physically take your hand down. When I had my throttle and I didn't have a hot foot, I didn't just drive with my hand on the throttle usually. I would go back and forth. You do need to have your hand on the throttle because if you're going to be varying the speeds a lot, but you just have a lot less control in my mind without the hot foot. I think it's worth it. Thanks, Night Fisher. Appreciate that. Randy has way more boat driving experience than me, though, so you might want to listen to him over me. But I love the hot foot on my boat, and I think the benefits way outweigh the negatives. Question. In your mind, have tubes been largely replaced by beaver-style baits? That's a good question. I think in certain parts of the world, no. Because if you go up to the Great Lakes, you go up to the northern fisheries, there's still a lot of guys throwing tubes. You come down here, though, and there's a lot of guys that don't have any tubes, never fished a tube, don't throw tubes at all. So I would say, yeah, tubes have kind of been replaced with beavers and all kinds of other flipping baits out there. But this is a good point, because if you're a guy that throws a tube and you really like throwing a tube and you're good at it, you can, it could give you an advantage, especially in a tournament, because the odds are most guys are not throwing tubes. And like tubes, you can rig them different ways so that you get different actions with the tube. You also can rig a tube so that when you throw it into the water, like if you're pitching under a dock, you can get it to go under the dock as it's sinking in the water. You can get it to move away from you instead of toward you, and that can give you a different, unique action. So I would say to answer your question, Night Fisher, yeah, you're probably right, but I would keep fishing tubes. My buddy Joe Enda, who's been on here quite a few times, he likes to throw tubes quite a bit. In fact, Ned Cady, the king of the Ned rig, this guy, he likes to throw a little bitty micro tube on his Ned rig even. And you can get some from Z-Man Lures. Speaking of boat accidents and damage, I sent you some images. Oh, you did. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Collision with another large vessel at night. Dude, yeah. Here, I'll show you guys these. I was in the front gun tub. I was ejected. This is what the boat looks like undamaged. Okay, let me put this one up. So you were in the military when this happened, huh? Let me share this screen here. Gotta turn that off. And then I gotta go to my deal here. Now you should be able to see this. Let me take your words off there. Yeah, look at that. Big old hole in the side of the boat there. So how did this happen? John Gill, the TRD ticklers are pretty much tubes on a Ned. Yeah, you're right, John. Down in Panama, I still fish a tube on a Carolina rig. No. See, that's the other thing, Kick Your Bass. That's really smart. Getting a little creative, getting a little different. These bass do get conditioned, man. Every bass in America has seen a chatterbait now, and they get used to them. If you can think of doing something a little different, like what old Bill Lowen was doing in the tournament this week, he basically was flipping and swimming a jig in dirty, dirty water. I don't know how many other guys were doing that, but I bet you not many. And that's why he won. That's pretty crazy boat damage there, David. Let's see. He put one other picture on here too. Let me go look at it. Let's see. Yeah, here's what it looks like on the water. I think they used a similar boat like that in Vietnam as well. Unfortunately, I can't make that picture any bigger, but pretty cool. We were running lights out for operational purposes in a trawling vessel. Running guns and drugs was coming out of a restricted with no lights also and collided. Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. So let me see if I can. I want to see if I got a show you guys a photo here. I don't know if I can do that. If I can. Okay. This is a Riverine assault craft. Do you use any JDM style baits? Night fisher. Yep. I do fish with some Depths products. Some of their minnow baits. What are those things called? I also have, you know, a lot of the more expensive lures you buy are JDM style baits. JDM, if you don't know what that means, that stands for Japanese Domestic Market. Japanese lures, basically. Got any tips on fishing an A-rig? We talked a little bit about this last night because somebody brought up catching big bass on A-rigs. And one of the tips I would give you, especially if you're not experienced at fishing an A-rig, go buy the cheapest A-rig you can find. Do not spend 40 or 50 bucks on an A-rig, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose that thing. You're going to break it off, and it's going to be gone forever. So get the cheapest A-rig you can find and fish with it. And when you get good, and you get good at retrieving them, getting them unhung, then you can think about spending money on a bigger A-rig. Now, as far as fishing an A-rig, you need relatively clear water. It seems like A-rigs do better in cooler water. A lot of guys catch fish out in deeper water with A-rigs on deep main lake points. And that one pro last week that won, he was throwing them on brush piles out deep. So that's really what I would recommend on the A-rig. Kind of a common technique is you throw it out there, you let it go to the bottom, and then you just start steady retrieve, reeling it in. The problem with letting it go to the bottom, obviously, is you can get it hung up. But you will catch more fish if you do that. Favorite pre-spawn bait? Let's ask our experts. Fisher guys and gals. Let's tell Nick, what's your favorite pre-spawn bait? Mr. Bass, what are your thoughts on the different swim baits? Like good for new swim bait anglers, best bang for the buck, favorite swim bait. Just got a swim bait rod and reel recently. Okay, well, you know, swim baits are so, the category is humongous. And a lot of times when guys say swim baits, they think about this stuff here. And this stuff catches big fish. But if you're kind of new into fishing and new into swim bait fishing, I wouldn't probably go buy a super big, huge, expensive glide bait. I'd start with something small. I'd start with like Kitex, little 3, 4, 5 inch Kitex on ball head jigs. and throw them out there. I've got a video of me fishing one of the ponds last fall where I was throwing a skinny dipper swim bait on the ball head jig and just whacking the catching a bunch of fish. Swim baits is a great bait for numbers. Then after you kind of get familiar with little Kitex or something like that, then maybe you bump it up a little bit. Go to a paddle tail swim bait like that Big Bite Baits BB Kicker. Little bigger hook. Catch fish with it. Then maybe you go to like a solid bodied flexible swim bait like the Mag Draft, the Mega Best Mag Draft that has built-in treble hooks. And then if you want to get into hard baits, go with a glide bait that's kind of cheaper, like the S-Waver. We were talking about this the other night too. One of the best things you can do is just go buy an S-Waver. This is made by River to Sea. They have 2 or 3 sizes. This is the bigger size. This is the 200, but they make like a 160. I'd start with that 160. Just throw it out there. Here's another reason to start with small. If you start with small, you don't need any special equipment. You don't need to go buy a big, huge, heavy rod and a big, expensive reel. Just start with smaller, soft swim baits first. And you can throw those on a medium heavy rod and reel with, 15-pound line, and it works great. If you had to pick one swim bait to use for the rest of your life, what type would it be and what size? Well, that's a hard question to answer because they're so diverse. They're so different. So if I could only pick one swim bait to try to catch ginormous fish with, it would be one of these bigger ones up here, probably this depth's 250. This one. Something like this. But if I could really only have one swim bait, it probably would be a glide bait like the S-Waver. Just because it's really versatile. It's going to catch you way more fish than a depths or a really big bait. It's not going to catch you giants, although it will catch you giants. But yeah, that's probably what I'd do, Night Fisher. Go ask old Randy Blockett. He only has one of these, and he openly admits he hardly ever throws it. Because this is a super special technique. It requires tons of patience. You got to be prepared to fish all day and not get a single bite on it, or maybe get 1 or 2. So that's that's kind of the advice I'd give you there in regards to the swim baits. Okay, you're talking small paddle tail swim baits. Well, there's so many of them are really awesome. Those Kitex would probably be my first choice. But there are a lot of guys who say the Kitex are overfished and they like other stuff. The BB Kicker is really good, and any of those kind of baits like that are really, really good. Hey, JB, how you doing, man? Yeah, Jackson. Yeah, Jackson's dad the other night won on the show. He won a KVD Strike King 10 XD. And that is a very large crankbait. For those of you guys who weren't on Saturday night, I'm still doing the 3 bait buckets, but if you land on KVD now, I've got my Milwaukee KVD crate. And in my KVD crate, I got all KVD stuff, Strike King stuff. So for a while, I'm going to do that. If you land on KVD, you get a lure out of the KVD crate. Oh, Kick Your Bass. Yeah, he just ordered some S waivers as well. I'll be interested to hear how they go for you, man. Sorry I went long, so I'm kind of behind on the comments. Any opinion on the OG Slim? What do you guys think? Bradley, I've only fished the OG Slim recently a few times. I do know that there at the Lake of the Ozarks tournament, there was a lot of guys catching fish on the OG Slim. And I think a lot of guys really like it in cold water. Obviously, it's a cold water lure. I definitely have some, and I think they are very, very good lures. What's the best bed fishing lure? Well, that depends too, Dylan. But really, when I'm bed fishing, I'm usually going to throw some sort of a soft plastic in there most of the time. But man, you can bed fish with so many different lures. But I like to kind of have like a worm or a lizard or something bright and annoying that you can drop right into the bed and leave it there a while. So something on a shaky head, like a bright white worm or a bright chartreuse worm or a methylate worm. Like I said, lizards. There's lots of lures that work on beds. So I don't know that I would say anyone is the best lure out there. But you do want a slow moving lure, because especially that big female, a lot of times you got to really aggravate her to get her to bite. And so you got to keep it right there in the strike zone for a really long time, usually. So like a crankbait doesn't make sense on a bed. Not that you can't catch a bed fish with a crankbait, you can. But if you're just actively bed fishing, I'd go with a very slow moving bait, something you can just sit there. Favorite color of lure for pre-spawn? Depends upon the part of the country that you go to. Lots of guys talk about orange, Nick, and how orange or red really works well in the pre-spawn, and it does in a lot of places. But I think it depends upon water clarity. It depends on, how much visibility is in the water, what kind of current, a lot of different factors. So normally pre-spawn, I'm going to have some bright colors like the oranges and the reds, but I'm just going to throw my regular colors, my shad patterns, my bluegill patterns, and throw in some reds and oranges and just see what's working at the time. If the reds are really killing it, like Joe and I were fishing out at Gunnersville one year, it was around February. We couldn't get bid on anything, and then we started throwing red rattle traps, and they just went crazy. We caught tons of fish on the red lipless crankbaits. So you just got to play with it and try it and test it out, Nick. I'm probably going to use the big Arkansas lakes. Let's see. Ordered some Ned heads. Yeah, Jan. We got to hear how you do on this, because some of the fish that old Jan fishes for, He sent me a couple of pictures. I want to see if I can show those to you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Here's what Jan fishes for. Check this out, guys. Look at that thing. Dad bod. Yeah, you've been mentioning that G-Crack bellows gills. I'm sure those would work good on bed fishing. Hey, there you go. Yeti Whisperer says the OG Slims are in stock at Academy. What do you guys think of this fish of Jan's here? What fish is that, Jan? That's a tarpon. He says it's a tarpon spot. They chum up the water. Yeah, I wonder how your Ned rig would work for that tarpon. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Let's see here. Got to turn this off on my deal so it doesn't keep talking to us. Favorite square bill? This is a good question. I just read recently some article somewhere. I can't remember where it was, where they were talking about greatest lures of all time, and one of them was the KVD 1.5 square bill from Strike King. And I got to admit that KVD 1.5 square bill is pretty intense. I've actually got a box of square bills right here. I'll show you a few of these, Henry. Yeah, no problems, John. I changed it to Wednesdays this week, so you know. So here's some of the KVD 1.5s. This is a blackback chartreuse. Here's one that's kind of a bluegill pattern. Got a lot of those. Here's kind of a craw pattern. Yeah. Look at Fisherman 83. He's kind of nailed all of them. I'll tell you what, though. This has become one of my favorite square bills. I've shown you guys this before. This is the Lucky Craft, the Fat CB. This thing is amazing. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. But this is a great lure. I got quite a few colors in this. That's kind of a blueback. Here's a shad color. Yeah, Bradley. Have I seen or gotten any of Alex Rudd square bills? No, Jeff. But I'm sure I'll get one in my next Monster Bass box, and I'm sure they'll catch fish. Here's another one of those Lucky Craft in the craw pattern. Got a lot of those. I'll tell you another good square bill is the Spro Fat John. These Spros have kind of flatter sides, but they are fish catchers. They're good square bills for sure. So Lucky Crafts. I really like these 6 cents. I call them a square bill. I mean, they do have a square bill. They've got flat sides as well. And Yeti or somebody's going to have to tell us what they're called because I've already forgotten. But these things are fish catchers, man. Really, really like them. Okay. Eric's asking, am I? Yeah. Well, the Lucky Crafts are still pretty darn expensive, Bradley. Eric, no, I'm not really sponsored by anybody. You can sign up for a lot of what I would call hokey sponsorship deals that are not real sponsorships. I used to do some of those, but I don't really do those anymore. And what I mean is there are some companies who they'll have 2 or 3 pro staff members that they really pay and do stuff for, and then they'll try to get 1,000 pro staffers and call them pro staff and put them on pro staff and try to get them to hustle their products on social media, and they give them a little bit of a discount, but it's not what I'd call sponsorship by any means. David, how you doing, man? Glad to have you on. Yeah, Henry, there are so many cool craw patterns out there for sure. Let me see if I might show you another square bill or two in here I've got in here. Some of you guys are talking about the 6 cents, which, you know, are we talked about this color yesterday. You got to have a black square bill, guys, especially if you fish around dark water and for night fishing as well. You don't need a ton of them, but you should have a few black crankbaits, maybe a few lipless when you're in really dark, murky water or fishing at night. Man, sorry to hear that, Dave. Hopefully it'll catch up there in a second. Black Magic. You were right, Jeff. I also like me some balsa square bills. I don't think I have any in this box. It'd be fun to show you some of those, but here's a little cheaper crankbait. This is a 1.5 made by Lucky Strike, not Lucky Craft. It's a Rick Clun series. And these are fish catchers. They work just fine. I got quite a few of them. This is one of the colors old Rick Clun said he liked to throw a lot. It's called copper something or other. And then here's another like copper shad color. Square bills are essential equipment, though. You cannot call yourself a bass fisherman and not have square bills. Clint, you're funny, dude. You were funny. I want to show all the guys old Clint in action. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can now. Application window. Photos. Huh. Unable to share the screen because I haven't given it permissions. All right, what I need to do is there's got to be a way for me to do this. I know what I'll do. I'll put a post here. Yeah, I got a good idea here while we're talking. Guggen Slayer, how's it going, man? And Chuck's on. Waterwood crankbaits, pricey. Man, I don't know what a waterwood crankbait is, man. I'm gonna have to check that out. Let me find my Instagram. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'll select multiple. Here we go. All right. Thanks to my buddy Clint for the awesome time at the PBR. What a ride! Exclamation point. All right. Now I'm going to share that on my page. Aha, now it's up. Now I can go to my own feed here. Got to refresh it here. All right, guys, take a look at this. I got to share the screen. Clint, man, dudes, he's a celebrity. You guys may not have realized this, but we have a living legend amongst us. Now check this out. Here he is in action. He's not these ladies here. He's the guy in the blue jacket. Now let me flip through a couple of these pictures here. Look at him. Clint Adkins. He's right on the screen. He is the man. Professional bull rider. This is him. This was me with my grandson. He was a little noisy for him. Check out the old PBR action. Pretty slick, huh? But dude, look at old Clint. Is he the man or what? David, he's hot. Right on. Is he in the bikini? That's a good one. How about that, man? He's a rodeo star and a bass fisherman. Dude. Let's see. Where's his other close up? There we go. How about that? That's pretty cool. Old Guggen Slayer was out on the yak today. All right, I was going to show you guys a couple of things. I got a video I'm posting here. I know this is not your favorite box, but I just thought I'd show you. Warriors Tackle Box has changed their box. And now it's only Warriors Tackle Box lures. And check out this. This is completely different. I've never seen anybody do this before. You open it up. It's got a lure here. It's got a card that tells you about the lures here. I'm not going to show you all these individually because I already did a video on these. But look, they don't come in their own package or anything. They're just in a big plastic box. And they're all Warriors Tackle lures. They're all made for Warriors Tackle. And that's what they said. They're only going to do Warriors Tackle lures now. They're not doing any other lures. So, Clint, I do not recommend them, by the way. I think there's a lot better boxes out there if you're going to go. Yeah, it is kind of weird, Henry. I kind of get why they're doing it. This will save them money because if they don't have to put all their lures in individual packages and they just put it in one blister pack inside this box. Kind of crazy. Definitely very different. Here's something else I got today. And I know some of you guys were asking me about that. Yeti Whisperer might have been asking me about this. Maybe some of you others. You know what this is? Major League Fishing Champions Club. This is Major League Fishing's monthly box. And I'm not going to show you this either because I'm going to do a separate video on this. But I'll probably do a live of this. But we were talking about how there might be ducket lures in here. There is. But yeah, this is the Major League Fishing box, Kicker Bass. And I think it's about the same as the others. It's around 30 bucks, maybe 35. I'm not going to show you the lures because I'm going to do that in a separate video, but I'll tell you, there's a Guggen bait in here. There's a Berkeley bait. There's a ducket bait. There's a greenfish tackle lure. And there's a lure from a company called Arc. And there's some tungsten weights. Okay, Chuck, I'll take a look at those. I'll put them up on the screen. But this is their first deal. Now, a couple of things that they say are going to make them better is they're going to give you tips on how to use all the lures. There's going to be videos that you'll have access to. You get premium lures, exclusive discounts in their club, which is going to be like the Carl's Club, I guess. You get monthly webinars. A Bass Pro Tour champion will host a 1-hour Zoom webinar exclusively for club members each month. We'll notify you via email when each live webinar is scheduled and give you the credentials to access. And then be on the lookout to test your skills and win major prizes in something they're going to call the Champions Challenge, presented by Berkeley. So that's what they say makes the Champions Club box different than everybody else's. I'll probably do, I said I'm not doing lives, but I'll probably do an unboxing of this live tomorrow. Because that'll only take 30 minutes. I don't know how it's going to end up being. Let me check out Chuck's Waterwood picks. Let's see if I got them. Yeah, I did get them. Okay, he says these are really pricey, so we may have to pin him down and find out how much they are. This is called the Waterwood Square Bill. Is that what it's called? I know, David. It's crazy. Everybody's doing them now. All right, so here's his first picture. Let me go to the next one. Show you. The Waterwood BPD. So it's a flat-sided crankbait. You know, this is going to be, you'd fish it probably the same time you'd be fishing the OG Slim. Cold water, pre-spawn. It's a pretty bait. Let's see this other one. Look at that. That is a very nice looking lure. Anybody else fish with these things? It looks like old Chuck buys a lot of stuff from Lure Parts online. Look at all that stuff in the background. That looks like Lure Parts stuff. It says they retail for 36 or 38 bucks each. Wow. You're right, David. It's got a thin lip. Clint's going to go spend some money right now. Yeah, I've never fished them, but man, I'm intrigued. Oh, Yeti Whisperer's leaving. See you, buddy. Yeah, the old circuit billboard. It's a good looking crankbait. Definitely. Okay, let's see. All right, I mentioned to you guys that tonight I'm giving away this terminal tackle box. This is H2O Express. This is the Academy Sports brand. Terminal tackle box. It's pretty sweet. It's got these foam inserts for your weights and hooks. It's got a gasket around it. I don't know if it's waterproof, but they have a gasket. They say that it's got rust prevention in it. So I'm going to ask one question to give this away tonight. Oh, out on 36 bucks. Okay, good. I'm glad you're not leaving, Yeti Whisperer. Giveaway time. Right on. So I got to go to my questions here and pick one out here while you guys are talking. Where are my questions at? Here we go. Here we go. We had quite a few winners on Saturday. We had a lot of guys hitting the two. We even had a couple of jackpots, if I remember right. Okay, what question am I going to ask? All right, this is a little different. I've done this in one of my videos. I don't think I've mentioned it a lot, but I have mentioned it in my videos once or twice. So are you guys ready to attempt to answer the question? What kind of rod sock do I like the best? What is Mr. Bass's rod sock of choice? Clint's going to buy some. Okay. John Gill, you got it. You guys were on the right track, 6 cents, guys. But I don't care about the brand. It's the neoprene, man. You could put 6 cents on any other rod sock and I wouldn't care about it at all. Neoprene is the way to go. Right here. This is neoprene. In fact, look at that. Mr. Bass rod sock. You can buy rod socks at this company and you pay a little extra and they'll put your name on them. But this neoprene stuff, guys, man, it's the bomb. It is fantastico. It's amazing. I'm really sold on it. I did. Now, you guys are right. I mentioned this in the video that the first one I got was from 6 Cents Lures. It came in one of my monthly Super 6 sacks, and I probably wouldn't have tried it otherwise. And then when I saw it and tried it, I was like, this is amazing. Amazing. So if you get into rod socks, I really recommend neoprene. And I'll tell you why. They hold up incredibly well, but they protect, in my opinion, they protect your guides a lot better than the stretchy kind of the webbed kind. But the one thing I absolutely hate about rod socks is getting your hooks stuck in them all the time, and that happens, especially when you start putting lures on top of rods on top of each other. Your hooks get caught in that webbing, and this neoprene is just the right material that the hook won't penetrate unless you really put a ton of force on it. So that in and of itself is worth it to me. It's amazing. Yeah, Fisherman 83. You can get them in different lengths, different sizes, and they also make they make them from spinning rods, and they make them for bait casters as well. No, David Storm, they do not cover the reel. And I think these Rod Warrior guys have pretty decent pricing. They're still not what I'd call incredibly cheap. You know, they're probably something like $7 or $8. Yeah, Yeti Whisperer, this is a new rod I got. I'll show this to you guys. Let me do this is the G Loomis IMX Pro 883C BJR. The BJR stands for bladed jig rod. Check this thing out. These IMX Pro rods are really sweet. They're not NRX, but they are just great rods. Look how pretty it is. I'm running out of room here. I have to turn the other way. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. In fact, I'll show you something here. This is a fast action rod, bladed jig. So this is what you could fish chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, that kind of stuff. It's 7 foot 4 inches long, fast action. Here's the painful part. That is why. That's why I keep a rod sock on it. Yeah, G4. I'll show you the rod sock company name again. Rod Warrior USA. Save your sticks. If you don't want to pay to put your name on them, they've also got a little plastic thing. You could actually put your name inside these if you wanted. Those G Loomis rods are sweet. They are sweet. They are special. Listen, Yeti Whisperer, I don't have this amazing network to get all my rods for half price like you do, man. If you can connect me, if you can hook me up somewhere, I'm all for it. I was able to buy some NRX rods for a pretty good discount from a guy. Dude, I know I've heard guys say you don't need expensive rods. And I agree, you don't need expensive rods. You can catch a fish with a cheap rod. But man, there is just something super, super special about some rods over others. There just is. Yeah, here's Rocco. Bought a $60 rod. It works fine. I totally agree. I'm sure it works fine, man. It will catch you fish. Fish don't care about the rod at all. But what I would tell you is if you're trying to save money, never use an awesome rod. It will ruin you. Don't use an awesome rod. It will create pain in your body when you have to go back to the $60 rod. Hey, Eric, I've actually got quite a few Dobbins rods, and I used to buy tons of those Dobbins rods, and I always liked them pretty well. The only problem I had with Dobbins rods, and I think this was me, I don't think it was the rods, I used to break a lot of guides off of Dobbins rods for some reason. And I have broken a rod tip off once, but for the most part, I was always really happy with Dobbins rods. I've not tried any 6 cents rods, so I don't know about them. Here, Donk Donk's telling Celis is a great budget rod. I know a lot of you guys, you know, you're watching your pennies. You need a good budget rod, and there are some good ones out there. My favorites in the $100 range are the St. Croix Mojo Bass rods. Yeah, let's not get out of control, Mrs. Bass. She's saying I should try to catch my 1,000 bass this year using only a $60 rod. Bad idea. Terrible idea. We will not go along with that. Hey, see you, David Storm. Thanks for hopping on, buddy. We didn't get to any wiggle warts yet, but oh, Fisherman 83, you're killing me. Do not put any ideas in her head. Yeah, Clint. Casey Mimi, that's Mrs. Bass. Jeez. No, it is not a combo. $60 combo. You're killing me. Jan, I do not want to have to ban you from the channel. Sounds like a challenge. Hey, part of fishing is to have fun, and I want to use my good rods. Look, she's dissing me now. Wow, not up for the challenge. Oh, push button, Zebco. Hey, let me tell you, I showed you guys my $50 rod. It broke. It was that Buku rod. It was only $50, and it broke. Yeah, Eric, I've heard several guys talk about the Cast King combos, that they like them. I've never tried one. Guggen Slayer likes Lux and Sierra. Obviously, I'm not trying to push super high dollar rods on you guys. And the thing I like about this community is a lot of you guys can share info on what you really like and help each other out. Nice, Nathaniel. Happy to hear that, dude. I've still got a few more backpack videos coming out, but I'm just about done with those. There's a few others you guys recommended, but I've never been able to get the companies to respond to me. G4, I'm located in Missouri. Yeah, real life. I'm still using those. See, I have some cheap rods. I have the Proficiency rods, and I liked them quite a bit, really. I still use them some. There was a medium heavy spinning rod and a medium heavy bait caster, and then there was a heavy bait caster. And I like the medium heavies pretty well. In fact, I think I've got a video out there catching a bunch of Ned rig fish on that Proficiency spinning rod, and it's pretty decent. Yeah, Clint, I'm a little more picky than that. I want to. Yeah, David Dudley designed those. You're right, Fisherman 83. I don't know if I mean, you know, ultimately, Skeet Reese had for a long time. He had those like $60 rods from McGill, Wright and McGill, the yellow rods. I don't know if he has those still or not. I don't think he does. Thanks, Yeti Whisper. Appreciate it. Somebody told me, and it's probably just a rumor, that Skeet Reese was selling those Wright McGill rods, but that Wright McGill made him much better rods that he used. They looked like the cheap rods, but that he wasn't really fishing with the cheap rods. That's just rumor mill. I don't know if there was any truth to that or not. It was probably just a rumor. Eric has the Resolute rod, and it uses the American Tackle microwave guides with the Sharky 3 reel. $100 total for the combo. Well, heck, you can trust Eric. There you go, man. $100 combo. That is great price. Yeah, G4, I'm just down the road from you. Right on, Southern Mizzou. skeet rods have terrible reviews. I wouldn't be surprised. I think what's the dude's name that's on the Elites that had a really good season last year, and his wife fishes the Opens. Why can I not think his name? She's got the pink rods. I think hers are Wright McGill rods. I'm not positive, though. Right on, G4. It's a small world. Zaldane, you're right. Chris Zaldane's wife has pink rods. She's got a pink rod sponsor, and I think they're Wright McGill rods, but I'm not positive. I looked at those Skeet Reese $60 rods, man. I just could not force myself to buy them. Could not do it. Trait. Right on, Trait. I've fished a lot of tournaments that Trait fished in, and I never got paired up with her. Some of my friends did, but I never got paired up with her. Yeah, you're right, Clint. Rick Clunn had a line of rods with Wright McGill, but that was a long time ago. Mr. Bass, do you like spending more money on the reel or more money on the rod? Probably the rod, John. Probably the rod. Because you can find awesome $100 reels all the time. I think it's a lot harder to find a super awesome $100 rod. And I have some very expensive reels, like, for example, take a spinning reel. You guys know I'm mostly a Shimano guy when it comes to my spinning reels. And I've got some $100 Shimano spinning reels, and I've got the most expensive one I have is really high, really high. Yep. And you can't tell a lot of difference between that really expensive reel and the cheaper reels, especially like the $300 reel versus the $600 or $700 reel. You can't tell hardly any difference, in my opinion. Some guys would probably disagree with me there. You can definitely tell the difference between a $75 reel and a $600 reel. There's no doubt. There's a lot of difference there. But when you get past like that $300, $350 spinning reel price, it's really more about just super light components. Speaking of super cheap reels, I've started doing a video on this and I haven't published it. You guys know, you probably follow Bradley Hallman. He's a pro fisherman, fishes on the FLW circuit. Used to fish on the FLW circuit. I think he's fishing the Opens now. But he is a guy that publicly says he won't spend money on reels, and he buys super cheap, crappy $20 reels from China. And I bought a couple of them. I was going to see if I had them sitting around here and I could show them to you. I said, man, here's a pro fisherman who fishes for a living, and he buys $20 reels, $15 to $20 on eBay from China. And he says that's all he uses. Well, I don't know where I put those. I had them. Oh, here they are. I knew I had them out here. So, me being the type of guy I am, I was like, okay, I'm going to go online and buy one of these super cheap reels that Bradley Hallman buys. And so I bought a couple of them. This one is called the BC200 Lizard. See that? Lizard. Stella, you're right, Yeti Whisper. Here it is. I got braid on it. $20 bait caster. I think it was about 17 bucks plus shipping. See it? There's the lizard on there. The BC 200. This reel, $17. Total junk. Horrible. This is the worst reel I've ever used in my life. It's pure junk. It is not worth. I tell you what, I would not take another lizard if they paid me $100 and gave me the reel. It is pure junk. And I got to publish the video of me fishing with this thing. I fished with it quite a bit. And this thing is like, and you cast it out, it's like, I mean, it is junk. This is just horrible stuff. Horrible. Jackson, give it away. Yeah, I probably should, Jackson. After I finish my video, I'll put it in one of the buckets. Oh man. But hey, Bradley Hallman's a professional fisherman. This is what he says he fishes with. The lizard. The lizard. Louder than a blender full of marbles. Dude, you nailed it, Chuck. That is exactly right. Yeah, it might be a good kayak anchor, Jeff. I think it's too light for that, though, unfortunately. Yeah, Clint. Clint's got the idea. I will create the Mr. Bass Pro Staff, and I will give all you guys Mr. Bass $17 reels. And even though they're pure junk, as my brand ambassadors, I expect you to go out and tell the world how awesome they are. You're right, dude. I got really nice braid on that reel, and that braid is worth, that spooled up braid on that reel is worth more than the reel itself. I bought a couple Piscafun Torrent bait casting reels off Amazon for 40 bucks, and they work as good as $100 reels. There you go, dude. Amazon's it. The Mr. Bass Pro Staff, they're all throwing lizards. The Mr. Bass Lizard Reel. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. Congratulations, John Gill, on winning this terminal tackle box. I already got your address, dude. I know where you live. So I will get it out to you. These reels. Yeah. These reels are top notch while showing it backlash to high heaven. Yeah, well, there's a few minor problems with it, but if being your pro staff means getting a free boat, I'll promote anything you want. Yeah, well, sorry, I'm not there yet, guys. But we hit 2,000 subscribers. So hopefully the next 3 will come quickly, and then we'll give away that KVD reel. All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. Appreciate you guys getting on. I'm going to show you, like I said, tomorrow night, probably around 6 or so, 6:30, something like that. I'll do a live unboxing of the Major League Champions Club. And I like doing the unboxings live. I started doing those live, and it's kind of fun having you guys on there. We can talk about the lures for a few minutes. Yeah, Chuck, I've done that on a few reels. I'll tell you what, the lizard needs Boca bearings bad. Bad, bad, bad. Thanks, BS Fins. Have a good night. Thanks for hopping on, guys. Good to see you, Clint. Thanks again for the PBR. That was fun. Hope you guys all have a great night. Hope you catch more fish this week. And I will, don't forget, we're having a regular Saturday night Spin to Win live show at 8 o'clock on Saturday. And tomorrow, if I get the time, tomorrow evening, I'll do that Champions Club box. Okay, dudes, have a good one. Thanks again. It's great talking to you guys. I'm ending in 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.